All right, welcome back into Indie B&B. Today we are joined by Zena of the band Zinadelphia, live from Philadelphia. Zena, how are we feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling well rested. It's a nice day. How are you feeling?
I'm great. I'm doing well, doing well. Had a good day at work, and we're getting right into it here. I love it. I love it. Well, you know, I want to get into your music and how this thing all started. I mean, obviously, I had the pleasure of seeing you in Medium Bill, but want to know, the origins and the beginnings of this.
Yeah, I guess I've just done music kind of like my whole life, but it wasn't until college where I went to Temple University in Philly, and there's just such a strong um music scene around there, like house show scene, and it's so I just would go to all the shows when I was like a freshman and a sophomore, and then just eventually just made friends with everyone playing those shows. And I was kind of like doing my own music at the time, and then just a band of my friends just kind of fell together, and then we started doing house shows, small bars, venue, like little venue things, and people started coming back and just showing up every time, and that's how I got into it. And then also just like doing the social media thing on the side, but I'm lucky that it was like very organic and like classic, like a classic upbringing, you know.
Gotcha. Well, some of your folks, like, are they, classically trained? Are you classically trained in any specific, way in music, or is it all, kind of, as we learn and we go?
It's kind of all as we learn and we go. I'm not trained in anything. I'd love to, you know, take some lessons. I think I could use some lessons in a couple areas, but I've just been self-taught this so far.
Wow, that's amazing. Again, getting to a point where you're able to just go up there and do your thing. So, I guess that first show for you, like, what was that like? Your first either house show or any of that, like, was that you know, man, after you did that, you knew for a fact you wanted to do it forever? Or, was there a couple that you had to get your under your belt before you're like, this is going to be my career?
I think, well, I did like the School of Rock in high school, so I
Mhm.
kind of like had performing, like I knew about it. I knew that I really liked it. Like
Mhm.
just kind of felt like this feeling that I always wanted to chase, like just such a natural high. And so I think it was way cooler and like way stronger of a feeling when I like played for the first time with my own band. But
Mhm.
it's definitely gone up and down because I don't necessarily have that feeling when I play solo. It's really hard for me to like have a good time sometimes just
Yeah.
because I think when I'm solo, there's the pressure is really on. But I feel like even if there's just one other person up there with me, I can really get into it. But it's like it ebbs and flows, and it's just a part of the game. Still working on things.
I love it. I love you've multiple times now you've said, "Hey, I'm still working. I want to take a lesson." So it sounds like you have a hunger for improvement, which I love that. That's a good trait, good quality to have. So definitely commend you for that. Want to understand, like, you got a new song out, Love Over Glory. Is this a part of a bigger piece that we're going to be coming to see soon, or what's kind of what is it, a big part of a bigger album?
Yeah, it's the first of my next EP, which is coming out this summer. And I really just wanted to like start off with a bang. And I think we could have like gone a safer route and like released one of like some of the other songs first, but I really just think Love Over Glory is like a statement, and I really wanted to just like come back in with a bang. And yeah, it's just I'm super excited about this next project. It's very me, and just very excited for the rollout. Like it's already going really well.
I love it. I love it. Well, I kind of like when I wrote it, I listened to it and I wrote down a couple of words. I never really go real into depth with these, just more like three words. But I got, it starts out with the epic kind of build, and then we get into some Western. I felt a little Western, and then I get
Yeah.
the disco, and it's like, I get a whole lot of things in the sounds. So what, for you, how did it become something? We'll spotlight this one for us today. Like, how did it become something? Where did you start? Did you write those music parts? Did you have some, play? So give us the whole shebang there. How'd you get that going?
Well, I'm a massive Gloria Gaynor fan, and I Will Survive at like I do it on tour, all of my shows. It's like the one cover that I always do is just I Will Survive. And I always knew that I wanted to make my own I Will Survive. And like I feel like I've gone through some pretty like weird things in both in and outside of the industry so far, and I just kind of wanted to write about it. And it was just like a safe space that day in the studio. So I was like, you know what, today is the day, like let's write about it. And I'm also just like super influenced by Nancy Sinatra, and we were listening to Bang Bang, of course, and just I just love that trem guitar, and I think that's like a repeating aspect throughout my whole project is this trem guitar, kind of like that's in the world of Nancy. And then when we were writing it, it just got so epic. I'm just such like a maximalist, and I was just like, let's add this, let's add this. Like we did background vocals for like 6 hours because I was just like, and another layer, and another layer, and then it just kind of got so huge, and it kind of reminds me of that song like I need a hero, like holding out for
Yeah.
a hero or whatever it's called. But it's like I like to call it like a mix of that song, I Will Survive, and then Bang Bang, and yeah, I don't know, just like three epic songs, and it's like my favorite song that I've ever made.
Wow, I love that. Well, I mean, obviously it's only been out for a little bit, so it's got some juice. So we'll definitely we'll be posting that in the description down below. So if you guys want to check that out on streaming, just click it right there. But for you, when you do write, generally, like I kind of had one way of thinking about you because I saw you solo. I think you mentioned that
Yeah.
earlier. Like I saw you solo, and I'm like, okay, she's like singer songwriter. But then really diving into your catalog, it's like that is not how that is not you are that, but also way more. So how do you take a song like, Love Over Glory and translate it to, how you want it to be played live? Like what's the kind of the process there?
Well, I think with such a big song, like it was really hard for me to take all my other songs when you saw me and put them into these like tiny little
Ooh,
acoustic versions because I was like
yeah.
that the songs all sound the same.
Hmm.
So when I'm playing them, because I'm like obviously not, I wouldn't say I'm insane at guitar. So I'm just like very much playing in my own style over and over again. So I think that's like one of the reasons why I struggle playing alone is just because like these songs are so massive when you listen to them, and then I kind of like have to like boil them down to like this one little thing when they want to be like hundreds of things. So I think I used to be like a hater of like using tracks for performances, but now I understand like it's so important, and I enjoy it now because I get to have like the entire production there, even if I'm singing along with like me playing guitar and like one other person playing something. Like it's as close to a full band as I can get for now.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to transform these songs into like full band performance things, and I think we're going to be doing that like later this year. So it's it's just part of the journey.
I love it. I love it. Well, I mean, obviously love the song. Go stream it, everybody. Want to kind of transition more into the the touring part of your life here. Like you just got back with Tori Kelly. Talk to me about that experience. I mean, you guys did how many shows you do? What were some of the highlights there?
We did 12 shows with Tori, and it was so fun. Her whole crew was just like so inviting, and like they were just down to hang. And it's not always like that on tour. Like sometimes the headliner just like they just want to go do their own thing, and that's like okay. But they were so down to hang, and they really like took care of us when we were struggling with stuff. And yeah, it was so fun. And I think, and like we were driving separately, we were in like the bus with them and everything, but we had like a lot of off days,
Mhm.
which we normally don't get. Like, when you're driving yourself, like your off days are just driving. We actually had like off days, and so we got to like visit Banff, like National Park in Canada, and that's like on my bucket list, and that was insane. But I guess like a musical highlight is just her fans were so welcoming also. Just like everything about the whole experience was welcoming. Like
Mhm.
I feel like they like actually connected to the music, and like I sold out of merch, and like every single night I would go to the merch table and there'd be like this giant line and just people just wanted to talk. And so many people have been reaching out to me and being like, I'm so glad like I found you through this like the show. And it's just I don't know, it just felt like such a good fit. It just felt really good to like be a woman and open for a woman. It just felt like the girls, you know?
I like it. I like it. Well, with like that kind of tour, like do you ever like ask her, for, advice or anything like that? I mean, like I guess what did you take away from the kind of how she carried herself to where, is there some things you're going to take away from her game to be able to, implement for yourself too?
Yeah, I mean, on the first day, I remember saying to Harley, my bassist, like, I was like, I just know for a fact I'm gonna come out of this a better singer because just from watching her show every night and like trying to like replicate the runs that she's doing. And she's such a great performer. She's just like all over the stage and like it's just so amazing to watch. And I'm like frozen in my own spot. Like I mean, you saw me like I'm still like that. I don't really move around a lot. And so like we talked about that and just like she has just like such amazing control even for like moving around the stage. And I just she just like made me want to be a performer
Mhm.
more rather than just like a singer who's just standing there. And I think that was like a really important takeaway because I'm like very excited to like take like just I don't know, be more confident. I think it brought me a lot of confidence just like seeing her up there and also just like not being afraid to like hit these crazy runs. She was telling me she was like if I ever like mess up on guitar, I just hit this crazy run and everyone gets distracted and like freaks out and it's just like no one even notices. And I'm like that's so true. Like I want to do that except I cannot riff like her. But I don't know, there's just so many things I took away that were so awesome.
It's awesome. I mean, anytime you have an opportunity to kind of get some knowledge from somebody, I think that's always important. Well, I mean, I'm excited now for the next time you roll through here in Atlanta, like being able
Yeah.
to I'm gonna get you. You're gonna be really exploring the space. I'm gonna looking for you have get some dancing shoes on and getting
Yeah.
going. Um,
I hope so.
so I mean, what I guess for that tour, like any cities stick out to you? Obviously, you had the experience at Banff, but like any cities stick out to you that you're like, oh man, like we ate at this place and it was amazing, or like anything like that.
Um, I think there were some like random ones in there that we were not expecting to be so like awesome, and they were like Calgary in Canada was awesome. It was like I think it was like on a college campus, so the audience was very young, but they were just so enthusiastic, and I just loved them. And then in Madison, Wisconsin, we played the Sylvie, and that was like I think that was the biggest venue or one of the biggest venues on the whole tour, and the sound in there was just awesome. Um, and that's like really it really affects it. Like if it sounds bad to the audience, like we can feel it, they can
Mhm.
feel it, the vibes are off. But I just think like in a giant room like that, just such great sound. So we played really well, and then everyone was like very kind and enthusiastic, and and when the crowd is rowdy, I feel like it's like an unpopular opinion, but when the crowd is rowdy, like it makes me feel so much better because I can like banter with them and I don't have to like come up with stuff on the fly of like what to say. I can just like wait for somebody to yell something and like go back and forth. So I like when people are yelling at me. I mean, like only if it's nice things, but you know what I mean. So like Madison, Calgary, and then of course Kansas City is like always a favorite of mine. And that was the last night of tour, and so that was just like a sweet moment. Everyone was like very sentimental, and then Tori and I got to sing, and yeah, Kansas City's always just a good city.
I love it. All right. Well, Canada action in there. It's not one we've interviewed many people that have, gotten into that area. You actually
Yeah.
are our second PA or Philadelphia person though. We have PA
Okay.
from PA or Yeah. Yeah, PA from PA. He's a rapper. We've had on, so he's an interesting cat. But um, well, beautiful. I mean, I'm glad that you've had those experiences, getting into some new places, but also, some goodies like Kansas City. Well, we're looking
Yeah.
forward to getting you back here in Atlanta, obviously.
I
Have you been
know.
back since last year, or?
I was there actually in February. I was on tour with this guy Talk and
Oh,
his whole band. Yeah, if you're familiar, and that was such a
yeah.
fun tour
Yeah.
too. Um, and so we were in Atlanta. I don't remember the venue, but we had an off day there, and I love that city. It's it's a sweet little city. So that was an amazing crowd. They're always like really sweet
Where
to
did you guys? I mean, you might have played at Terminal West. I'll have to look it up. But what'd you guys do in the city during the day?
we went to like that little strip with all those cute little stores and like there's like all these vintage places or thrift stores and that one like record store and we went out to eat.
Little Five
Uh,
Points.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love that little area. It was so
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some a couple of good venues down there, Aisle 5 and Variety Playhouse, and then yeah, a lot of good places to eat down there for sure.
Yeah, it was a sweet little moment. I love Atlanta.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Well, when you're creating as you guys are, is there a tour, incoming with, as you release the EP, for you to go on, a solo tour a little bit? Is that kind of in the cards coming up here soon?
Yeah, it's definitely in the cards. We're like planning it right now. For like the end of the year, I
Hmm.
think. And it's not gonna be like anything major. I don't know if I can hit like some of the smaller cities. Like I don't know if Atlanta's gonna be on there. I just see. I don't know if like Phoenix is gonna be on there or like
Yeah,
Houston or any of those, but I think it's definitely gonna be like the major markets, like like of course Philly and New York and LA and Chicago,
yeah,
maybe Boston, DC. I don't know. So it's gonna be a small run. I mean, there's probably gonna be a couple more in there, but that could definitely change like with the rollout of the project. Like if it does it really well, then of course we can add more.
yeah.
But it's kind of like you have to play it by ear. But there's definitely headline tour, big band moment coming this year, and I'm ready. I haven't headlined a show in like forever, and so I'm really ready.
I love it. Well, when you're creating that and like y'all are starting to probably to prepare for those things, like how do you come up with the live set list? With that, like do you have a strategy there? Do you have some things that you're kind of kicking around now, like some
Yeah,
pyrotechnics maybe? I don't know.
I mean it's definitely gonna be like low budget because I'm super broke still, even though like I have a deal. It's like a low key deal, so I'm still balling on a budget around here, so I don't think it's gonna be anything like super crazy, which is why I think that we have to bring our A game with the music, like
Yeah,
that's the most important part. And I'd love to like get into like the creative and like the stage design and like all that stuff. And I already have like a Pinterest board of what I want it to be eventually when we get there, but I think it's gonna kind of be low key
hmm,
this time around. But I mean, the set list is probably just gonna be my whole discography at that point. Like, I'll have two EPs out, and I'll probably be like midway through whatever project is happening after this. So maybe we'll play um some new things, and I definitely already know what covers I want to sprinkle in there. And I always tell my band like I want to treat it like a play. Like
hmm,
once we walk up there, it's like one continuous presentation until we walk off stage. Like I don't want it there to ever be complete silence on stage. I want something to always be happening.
yeah.
And I just want it to be like very theatrical and have like many little, I don't know, like little theater moments. So I'm excited to like plan it out more.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm excited if we hit you in if you hit here in Atlanta, we'll be sure to catch you guys and
Yeah.
get that way. Well, you had a couple things, that have come up on the internet wise, like you've gotten, I saw the video with medium build and, the good noise sessions. You have your own good noise sessions. So those are a couple things that, so folks can go and, take a look at on YouTube. But When you do those, like, what's the, do you go in and you're like, all right, I got a game plan. Like, we're gonna, that's kind of very singer-songwriter-y and a little bit different. So,
Yeah.
how do you plan for those? And, what's that experience like getting in and doing those sessions? 'Cause you see a lot of artists doing them. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's doing them solo was like always a struggle just because like I said earlier, like I struggle playing solo and like having it be cool and fun and awesome. And I think that's something that like Nick, like Medium Build, does so well, and that I like look up to him and like watch his videos all the time because he's can be so powerful just like as just playing solo or playing acoustic or whatever. And I don't know, I usually have no game plan walking in there, and like after I did my like solo good noise session, I like definitely walked in the house and just started crying because I was just like it's just a lot, I think, pressure wise, and like I'm suddenly totally aware of like all the lyrics that I'm saying when I'm alone for some reason, but where they're like and when there's like a band behind me, like I could play the most devastating song and it like wouldn't really affect me, but somehow when it's solo, it's like so much harder. And I think I don't know, it's just like a very emotional thing. But so that's why I kind of tend to not have a game plan because then I'll be like thinking and anxious, and then if I just go in and I'm like, okay, well, whatever happens, happens. Like
yeah.
then it'll more likely have a good outcome.
Yeah, I can see, the over planning and that can kind of get you a little tight and you may not have as as good of a good of a performance. So that's good to keep it loose. I like that. Have a little bit less plan, go in there with an open mind. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like those like sessions, like you see either they do it with a band or they do it various. It seems like Good Noise they do it in kind of the backyard or in those smaller studio setups. So
Yeah.
yeah, shout out to those guys. Good produces a great quality product. I mean, it's a great great thing to take a look
Yeah.
at and do. So
I think it's like
um
the next upcoming thing, Michael and Joey. It's epic. They've gotten some like really awesome artists to do it too. So
yeah, well, shout out Michael and Joey. Let's go. Well, I want to dive into some less serious questions, a little bit more on the this or that food-based side. I mean, everybody's wondering, everybody's asking about whether you like certain things or other things. So let's get into it. Pete Peterson's party pack of questions. It's gonna be 20 questions right in a row, so we'll go rapid fire. And the last one, be thinking about this one. I'm gonna give you a warning. It's a band or somebody we ought to check out. So be thinking about somebody that we maybe want to check out. But that's the last one. So hold on. Pete Peterson's party pack questions, 20 questions right in a row. Here we go. Zinadelphia, cake or pie?
cake,
All right, all right. Salad or soup?
salad,
All right, she's going salad. I like it. Sunrise or sunset? What are you seeing more of these days?
sunset.
All right.
Definitely.
You're from Philly. I don't know how big into the sports you are. Obviously, a great sports town. Home run or touchdown? What would you rather do?
Home run.
You want to hit a
Yeah.
bomb out of the bank. I like it. All right.
Yeah.
We're Braves people down here. We won't hold it against you. Night in or night out? What are you doing more of these days?
Night out, probably.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Night out in Fishtown. Nothing like it. Let's go. All
Yeah,
right.
for real.
All right. When you do hit the club in Fishtown, like, and your jam comes on, you more likely to hit the robot or the worm in the middle of the dance floor?
Honestly, probably the worm.
You're
I can
worming it?
I can do the worm. I can.
Well, now we definitely got to see that. I mean, mid-show, let's break the worm out.
If this room was bigger than a closet, then I would hit the worm.
No, I'm talking about in your on your tour. Let's go.
Oh
Next tour,
god.
we're coming up. You get a worm out, maybe, or worm
Oh
in.
my god. You know, maybe.
All right. We have a
We could
hard
just
maybe on Xena Worman. All right, let's go. When you go to your favorite Tex-Mex spot, guac or queso?
guac.
All right.
100%.
She's guacking it up. All right. Waffles or pancakes?
Waffle,
All right.
definitely.
Let's go. Coffee or tea with your waffle?
You know, tea.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Teeing it up. Dogs or cats?
Dogs,
All right.
gotta say it.
Love it. I love it. Ninja or a pirate? What do you identify more with?
Probably pirate.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Gatorade or Powerade?
Oof. Yeah, I'm like not a big fan of it either, but I'd say Powerade.
Powerade. All right. Toast or bagels?
Bagels any
Yeah,
day.
you're for the Northeast. I figured that was going to be a bagels. Chips or pretzels?
Ooh, pretzels.
I like it. People don't understand the soft pretzel is part of pretzel, so they don't remember that. I don't forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Fries or tots?
Fries.
All right, let's go. TV show or a movie? What are you like unwinding with after a long day?
You know, I'm like not much of a watcher of anything, but I've been watching a lot of Sex in the City, so I did have to say TV show.
Okay, so we're binging some Sex in the City. I like it. Are aliens real?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
100%. What about Bigfoot?
You know, yeah, I think so.
All right. And what about love at first sight? Is that real? Do you think that happens?
Sure, for some people. I feel like it, yeah, I say it exists. Maybe not
Okay.
for me though.
Okay. Depends on the person. I like it. All right.
Yeah.
And your last question of Pete Peterson's Party Pack of Questions. Who is one band or artist that we ought to check out that we might not know? And maybe we'll say, hey, Zena told us to check you out.
Claire Ernst.
Claire.
She's Yeah, she's from Nashville. She's in like this R&B soul world. She's a friend of mine, and I was like a major fan of her before we ever became friends. And she's so underrated, and she's an amazing singer, songwriter, and just all her stuff is just so fucking groovy. So shout out to Claire.
I love it. Zena is the #1 fan in the Claire Ernst fan club. Let's go.
I
All right.
am.
Well, we need to have our people check her out. Well, Zena, I appreciate you coming on and sharing some time with us. Obviously, we got some new songs coming out soon this summer, EP coming out this summer. So everybody be on the lookout for that. Follow her at Zinadelphia on Instagram. Anything else you need to plug? Anything else coming up?
Mm, I think I got a long rollout ahead, so just stick around. That's what I'm gonna say.
Stay tuned. It's coming. We love it. We love it. Well, Zena, thank you so much for stopping in the NDB and B here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course.